Welcome to Sociology Vibes, where we simplify challenging ideas into easy to understand insights. Today, our focus is on the sociological explanation of the demographic transition theory on population change. The theory was developed in 1929 by American demographer Warren Thompson, whose goal was to explain why some countries had fast-growing populations, while others had slow or even shrinking ones. Based on his observations, he described how societies go through 4 stages as they move or transition from agricultural to industrialized societies. The outcomes of these transitions influence fertility, mortality, and life expectancy rates, which consequently impact populations. Let's explore these demographic transition stages. Stage 1 is characterized by both high birth and mortality or death rates in early societies prior to modern medicine and sanitation practices. People had a lot of children. However, many did not survive and died in childbirth or in early childhood. This pushed down life expectancies and, in general, diseases, poor nutrition, and the inability to understand the role of germs, lacking hygiene practices and clean water, made life shorter for the population. Because both birth and death rates were high, the population didn't grow much overall and stayed mostly stable for most of human history. Even in some low-income countries today that have suffered through multiple wars and conflicts, extreme poverty, and lack of supportive social institutions, life expectancies rates are low. Now, stage 2 is characterized by continued high birth rates, but a declining mortality or death rate. Once societies develop knowledge of germs and sanitation technologies, clean water, and medical care practices, these brought down the mortality rates, especially among babies and children. Birth rates are still high, but due to decreasing mortality rates, a society experiences a population boom as more people are being born than are dying. Historically, these trends first occurred during the beginning of the industrialization era, during the late 1700s and throughout the 1800s and thereafter. Today, in many countries located in sub-Saharan Africa, birth rates are high, but better health conditions have lower death rates, so we see that populations grow fast. Children are seen as an economic resource because they contribute to the economic survival of families. In stage number 3, stage 3 is characterized by both falling birth rates and mortality rates. In these societies, urbanization takes place as there are masses of people moving into growing cities. Population, especially women, receive formal education and gain access to birth control. Now birth rates begin to slowly drop because people have choices in how many people to have, while death rates continue to decrease, while life expectancies increase. Consequently, the population begins to stabilize as people start having less kids. Countries like Mexico, India, and Egypt are going through this stage right now. Families are getting smaller and people live longer. Stage 4 is characterized by both low birth and mortality rates. In these societies, populations grow slowly, remain stable, and can begin to decline. People have fewer children due to economic pressures, and the high financial cost of raising children. They tend to focus on their careers, especially among women, and other personal choices. Children in these societies tend to be seen as an economic liability. Life expectancy rates continue to increase due to medical advances and technologies. The United States, China, and Canada are in this stage. Countries tend to be industrialized and urbanized. While not part of the original demographic transition theory, there Stage 5 is characterized by very low birth rates, lower mortality rates, and higher life expectancy rates, resulting in steep population declines and a higher percentage of aging population. Japan, Germany, and Italy are examples of countries in this stage. Japan particularly is an example of a society whose population is projected to shrink significantly over the next 50 years, and this is creating social problems for the Japanese society, including the lack of care for the aging population and higher government debt. Fewer workers lead to lower tax revenues, and there are less workers to support existing social programs to support the aging population. A declining population means the closure of schools and a depressed housing industry. In the United States, low birth rates and mortality rates are supplemented by immigration, and therefore a declining population is not an issue. The demographic transition theory helps us understand contemporary social issues and social trends in societies. The demographic transition stages allow us to make predictions about the need for specific resources over others within a society, and critically think about social change and public policies. While we tend to think of population trends as random choices being made by individuals and their families, in reality, we can observe macro-level societal changes and shifts within all areas of society. And you can explore population trends by exploring the population pyramids of specific countries at the Population Pyramid website. And this makes sociology fascinating, don't you think? Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts, questions, or any topics you'd like us to explore next. Let's keep the conversation going and our community growing. See you in the next Sociology Vibes video.